Hey there, it's Scott Haase with the Indiana Twins. I'm our pitching coordinator, and welcome to this three-part video series on arm health during the season. Ball players need to remember three very important things, and we're going to talk about those. So if you're not already following us on social media, it's at Indiana Twins on all the social medias, or our mailing list that'll link somewhere in this video or in the comments or description below. But please follow us along so that you can get the entire series, and we hope you get a lot out of this. Thanks. Hey, welcome to video 2, where we're going to talk about language and body language. So in the first video, we talked about Pitch Smart. It's a really good free resource that USA Baseball, Major League Baseball, and a advisory board staff of medical professionals all put together as recommendations and guidelines for how many pitches you should throw and then how much time off you should have. Check that out. So what I want to talk about with language is, obviously, if a player tells a coach or a teammate, hey, my arm hurts, that player needs to be taken out of the game. But if a player says something more subtle, like, hey coach, I'm doing okay. If they're talking, in between pitches and the coach comes to the mound and says, my arm, it's doing fine, coach. Well, if he's not talking very confidently and he's saying it's fine or it's okay, there's a good chance that player needs to be taken out. Maybe if they have internal strikes, it's because their arm isn't doing so hot. Those are a little bit more obvious, but still a little subtle. The obvious one is going to be, hey, my arm hurts. But the even more subtle ones are, so I'm a left-handed pitcher, if I'm on the mound and I'm just kind of doing this, I'm just shaking my arm, but I never do that, as a coach or a parent, I'm starting to think, hey, let me see what's going on here. I'm starting to see something that I haven't seen. Now, there are plenty of pitchers out there that's part of their routine. Or after they throw, they just kind of shake it out. Or maybe it's hot, or maybe their sleeve is tight. That can be the case. But it's something to pick up on that's subtle, that's not verbal. And a lot of players, like I said, do that, but some don't. So the one time that they're starting to do this, keep an eye on it. I'm not saying that take him out or take her out, but keep an eye on it. Another cue or subtle thing you can kind of pick up on nonverbal body language would be shoulder shrug. There's a ton of different movements that if that player never does, they can do it. If they're starting to look up, starting to take deeper breaths, if you can tell they're visibly sweaty and maybe, yes, it's a hot day, but not that bad, or if it is a hot day and they're visibly sweaty, have a conversation as a coach or a parent with that player. If you're a parent, stay off the field, but after the game, have that conversation. How are you feeling? I noticed you were kind of breathing heavy. Normally you don't do that. They might have been fine, but it's good to have that communication going. So obviously that's just regular language, but that body language, those subtle and not so subtle cues are good to pick up on, because every pitcher has their routine. So if you're seeing something different, or they kind of start squeezing, they start shrugging, they start shaking, or they're just not throwing strikes, it's something to keep an eye on and kind of advance it to that next level and just kind of be a little bit more inquisitive. Check that out. Talk to the player. At the end of the day, it is up to the player to make sure he's smart. And that's why we tell our guys, hey, please tell us if something is going wrong. We are more worried about your long-term future, regardless of what's going on with this game, than we are about today. Now, a coach and a player and a teammate, they can get really riled up and excited about a game, but at the end of the day, we all want the best for our players. So if there's something going on, the player does need to speak up. But as coaches and parents and teammates, we do need to be able to pick up on some of those cues as well to try and help them. All right, for our third and last video, I want to talk about arm care, arm strength, recovery, what you can do from a standpoint of strengthening your arm to making sure that your arm health is as optimal as possible from just a strength standpoint and a recovery standpoint. So make sure you're following us along on social media or on our mailing list, and stay tuned for video 3.